In the heart of Lagos, amidst the hustle and bustle of Oshodi Market, one woman stood out more than any other. Her name was Iyabo, an elderly pepper seller whose presence seemed to control the very pulse of the market. Every morning, without fail, she arrived with her basket of fire-red peppers. Within minutes, her stall would be surrounded by eager customers, and in less than 30 minutes, her entire stock would be sold out. But it wasn't just her peppers that made her unique. It was the eerie silence that descended upon the market whenever she was absent. If Iyabo didn't show up, the usually chaotic market would fall into an unsettling calm. Customers would linger around her usual spot, waiting for her return. And curiously, every 2 weeks that Iyabo was missing, a mysterious death would follow, either in the market or among the families of the traders. Whispers began to spread, though no one dared speak openly. Some believed Iyabo's success was divine, a blessing from God that made her indispensable. But for those who regularly bought from her, there was a deeper, unspoken bond. No other peppers in Oshodi tasted the same. There was a sharpness to her peppers, a heat that lingered long after the last bite, creating a fierce loyalty that bordered on obsession. When she wasn't there, the customers didn't simply leave, they waited. Sometimes for hours, in total silence, their eyes never leaving the empty stall. The real mystery, however, lay in the deaths that seemed to follow her absence. Babatunde, a man of many gifts, had long been aware of the strange loyalty people had for Iyabo. As a healer with a keen sense for the unusual, he found it odd that such devotion could be driven by something as simple as peppers. But as time passed, Babatunde became increasingly intrigued. He noticed that those who bought from Iyabo always returned. When they didn't find her, they wouldn't buy from anyone else. They would wait, almost religiously, for her to appear. What kind of woman is this? Babatunde pondered, watching the market from the shadows. The question gnawed at him for days until it became unbearable. He decided to seek answers. He made up his mind to visit his grandfather, a powerful native doctor in his village, for guidance. His grandfather was a man of few words, but his wisdom was legendary. Babatunde's journey to the village was filled with anticipation. Upon arrival, his grandfather greeted him with a knowing smile. "I know why you've come," the old man said calmly. Babatunde, taken aback, asked, "How do you know what I've come for?" "I haven't said a word." The grandfather chuckled. "I know the signs. You seek the truth about Iyabo, the pepper seller." The old man's words shocked Babatunde, but he sat down, eager to hear more. "She is no ordinary woman," the grandfather began. "Iyabo is a witch of the first order. Her power is ancient and dark. She uses it to control others and feed on their life force. Her pepper stall is not just a business, it's a tool she uses to find victims." The grandfather continued, revealing the secret that Babatunde had sought. "At her waist lies a bead. This bead binds her to this world, and if you cut it, you will destroy her power. But it will not be easy. She is protected by forces beyond your understanding." Babatunde returned to Lagos with a heavy heart. Armed with this knowledge, he knew he needed more than just information to defeat Iyabo. He began to gather a group of trusted individuals, each with their own unique gift. Together, they would confront Iyabo and put an end to the mysterious deaths that plagued Oshodi Market. As Babatunde prepared, a strange tension began to settle over Oshodi Market. Iyabo's absences became more frequent, and with them, the fear grew. The market women began to whisper, what would happen if Iyabo didn't return? Who would be the next to die? The day of the confrontation arrived. Babatunde, with his group of spiritual warriors, entered Oshodi Market. The usual buzz of customers was replaced by an eerie silence. It felt as though the entire market was holding its breath. Then, from the shadows, Iyabo appeared. Her weathered face cracked into a smile as if she had expected this moment. The crowd fell silent. Babatunde, she called in a voice that seemed to reverberate through the marketplace. I knew you would come. But you cannot defeat me. I have lived longer than you can imagine, and I will live long after you are gone. The confrontation was intense. Babatunde stepped forward, his heart stilled with determination. His group began chanting in unison, invoking their spiritual powers. Iyabo, with a flick of her wrist, sent waves of dark energy crashing toward them. The force of her power sent several of Babatunde's allies reeling. But Babatunde pressed on. He focused on his energy, drawing upon the knowledge his grandfather had given him. He reached for Iyabo's waist, and the battle between light and dark raged on. The crowd watched in shock and disbelief as Iyabo's true nature began to unravel. Her eyes glowed with an eerie light, and her skin began to peel away, revealing a form much older, much darker than the woman she had appeared to be. It was as if the years of her dark deeds had finally caught up with her. With one final surge of energy, Babatunde cut the bead from her waist. As the bead broke, Iyabo screamed in agony. Her body convulsed as the power she had held over the market crumbled. In a flash of light, she vanished, leaving only an empty stall behind. Iyabo was gone, but her disappearance only deepened the fear in the market. The women who had once worshipped her in silence now trembled with fear. Would Iyabo come for them in their homes, seeking revenge for abandoning her? Unsure of where she had gone, Babatunde returned to his grandfather for guidance. This time, he brought with him a group of market women, those who had once been Iyabo's followers. Guided by his grandfather's wisdom, Babatunde and his group traced Iyabo's essence to a hidden location, a massive calabash buried deep in the earth. When they unearthed it, Iyabo emerged, weak, but still alive. Her youthful appearance was nothing more than an illusion held together by dark magic. The people gasped as they saw her true, ancient form. As the crowd gathered, Iyabo's facade shattered. With the weight of her crimes now revealed, she confessed. For over 200 years, I have used my powers to manipulate and kill, she admitted, her voice trembling. The peppers were never just a business. I used them to find victims, to harvest their life force, to feed on their souls. My secret has kept me young, but now, you have broken it. The truth came to light in the most unexpected way, and the people of Oshodi, once blind to her evil, now saw the full extent of her dark deeds. With Iyabo's reign of terror over, the market began to heal. The people of Oshodi slowly returned to their normal lives, but they would never forget Iyabo, the pepper seller whose power was as fiery as the peppers she sold. Babatunde, forever changed by the encounter, returned to his village, carrying the lessons of that day with him.